Hello there and welcome to freehypnosislessons.com. My name is Stephen Hall and I'm going to teach you how to become a hypnotist. Now, as the name of the website suggests, this is free. There's nothing that you need to pay or anything like that. There's no catch, no con, anything like that. It's all completely free. I just want to teach you hypnosis so that you can go out and you can use these skills to either entertain yourself or I'm kind of hoping to help people and make the world a better place. Before you get started, I want to tell you a bit about what you can expect, and I also want to tell you a little bit about my history as a hypnotist and how I got started in this. So first and foremost, the way that you get started on this course is to just pop your name and email into the form that's lower down this page. What I will then do is to send you a video lesson every single day, and each lesson kind of builds on the previous one and it teaches you a new area of hypnosis, so your skills will gradually grow. It doesn't matter if you know absolutely nothing about hypnosis. There's no experience required. Also, it doesn't even matter if you don't believe in hypnosis. Just watch the lessons and you'll gradually build up your skills. And during the course, you're going to learn how to hypnotize people, of course. That's the point of the course. You're going to learn how to create your very own hypnotic inductions and trance deepness. You'll learn how to wake people up effectively. You'll learn about stage hypnosis and hypnotherapy. You'll learn about how to create hypnotic suggestions for any situation. You'll learn about hypnotic language patterns that you can use in a normal conversation, so outside of a formal hypnotic environment. And to be honest, hypnosis is a huge subject, and we kind of touch a little bit on each of these, but the primary focus of this is to get you from wherever you are now to a point where you are confidently and competently able to put a person into a hypnotic trance. So that's the main objective of the course, but you'll learn lots more things as well as that. So let me tell you a little bit about my history. I became obsessed with hypnosis when I was around about 18 years old, and this is in 1992. So back then, there wasn't much available. I didn't have the internet or anything like that, so I kind of had to get hold of books. I had a friend who was a magician, and he actually taught magic in the magic circle, so he could get hold of some books for me that were not available to the public. So I kind of had access to a lot more resources than most people would have, and I kind of devoured them. I was obsessed with this, but I didn't actually believe it. So I was fascinated by it, but I didn't think it was real. I thought that all of the people in stage hypnosis shows and that kind of stuff were acting, and I kind of thought that hypnotherapy was placebo, and I didn't even really believe in what we now call the hypnotic trance, and I certainly didn't believe I could do it. If it was real, I thought it required some kind of psychic power that I didn't have. I'm just a normal guy, so I didn't believe I could do it. But I was obsessed, so I learned everything that I could. And then one day in about 1993, I'd been learning all this for about a year or so. I was on holiday with my sister and a few of her close friends that I didn't know, and they didn't know me. And I was reading some books about hypnosis. And one of her friends, a guy called Mark, he asked me if I would hypnotize him. And it was very obvious from the way that he asked that he believed that I could. He just wanted me to, he wanted to experience it. So this was my opportunity to try out all of this stuff that I'd been studying for about a year and a half. And I've got to say, I was nervous as hell. Inside, I was shitting myself. I didn't think I'd be able to do it, and I thought I was going to look stupid, but he thought I could do it. And, that's important. He believed that it would work. So I saw this as an opportunity, and on the outside, I tried to appear confident, and I was kind of like, yeah, no problem, I can hypnotize you. Now, the method that I used was progressive relaxation, which is what I recommend that you start on, and go on to the rapid stuff a little bit later. But it was a really basic hypnotic induction that was just kind of like you are feeling sleepy kind of stuff. Now, when you learn this normally, you've got the basic layer, and then you layer on top of that all these hypnotic language patterns. And I'm going to teach you one of these at a time. Now, I'm going to get back to my story in a moment, but I just want to tell you a very quick aside. This comes from a really fantastic hypnotist called Igor Ledachovsky, and he talks about about these hypnotic language patterns that you layer like a pencil. And each one, if you imagine breaking a pencil, it's very, very easy. But if you put 2 or 3 together, it gets more difficult. If you put 5 or 6 together, it's almost impossible. And that analogy is like these language patterns that you layer on top, one on top of another. Once you've got quite a few of these all together, it's very, very difficult for that person to resist going into hypnosis. So it kind of gives you a very visual image of how powerful this is when you layer this. But this first induction that I was doing with Mark, it had none of that. It was just the very basic layer. So there was no language patterns, maybe 1 or 2, but it wasn't very complicated. It was very, very basic. But he kind of responded. And when he started to respond to my suggestions, I really thought he was faking. And I felt like a complete fraud and an idiot. And I didn't really know what to do. And then by chance, I told Mark that every breath that he took, he would get colder and colder. And that suggestion changed everything. Within seconds, he was wearing kind of like a short sleeves like I got on today, so I could see his bare arms. And within seconds of me giving that suggestion, all of the tiny hairs on his arms all stood on end, and he had goosebumps. And it was amazing. That was incredible to see. And he was shivering. Now, you can act cold. You can shiver. It's easy for anyone to do that. But you can't fake those tiny hairs standing up, and you can't fake the goosebumps. So he's having this physical response just to my suggestion. There was no change in temperature at all, but his body thought that there was. And that was incredible. That turned me into someone that actually believed in hypnosis. Now, what I then did is I changed my suggestion from cold to hot. And I said, now every breath that you take, it's getting hotter and hotter. Now, within moments, again, all of this went away. So he stopped shivering and he started to pull at his clothes and his face flushed. He went really bright red, and then beads of sweat started to trickle down his brow. And you could see it was really uncomfortable. It was shortened breath, and he looked like he was struggling to breathe. Now, I didn't leave him like that for very long. I told him, all that was going away and it was going normal. But he was like that for long enough for the physiological response that he was having it just could not be faked. It was astonishing. So I think everybody there thought it was quite funny and they were laughing along and they kind of just expected that, he would do whatever I suggested. I was more impressed than anybody because for me, I didn't believe it would work. I thought he was faking. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was getting these physical symptoms. Cold and shiver, goosebumps, and the little tiny hairs all standing on end, and then all that going away, and then actual sweat. Actual sweat was dripping from his brow and his face was bright red and he was pulling at his clothes. It was amazing. So that experience changed my life. Now, I'm very, very lucky because Mark was an incredibly good hypnotic subject. If he'd been a bad hypnotic subject, he wouldn't have gone into trance, he wouldn't have responded, and I honestly think I wouldn't have pursued hypnosis as a career. I'd have just felt a bit stupid and I'd have given it up. But because he responded, that changed the course of my life. Now, back then at the time, this is about 92, 93, I was a DJ and I had a residency in lots of pubs and clubs in my local town. So I then started learning more about stage hypnosis and I started to develop a routine and I got this act that I'd sorted out. So I went to the contacts that I had in the entertainment industry and said, I'm now doing stage hypnosis. Can I come and do a show at your venue? And all of them said yes, because, they're like, stage hypnosis will bring in more customers, so it's going to make them more money. So that's how I got started with stage hypnosis. But I only did that for a few years. And after those stage hypnosis shows, I had people coming up to me saying, can you hypnotize me to lose weight and stop smoking and cure this, that, or the other thing? And I had to say no, because I didn't know anything about that side of hypnosis. So I figured I should learn. So I learned about hypnotherapy and I slowly shifted over from stage hypnosis to hypnotherapy and NLP and healing and all those kind of things. Now, it wasn't until I hypnotized a person and changed something of their life. It was someone who was addicted to smoking and I got them to quit, and it was really serious for them. It was probably going to end their life. And I got to see how grateful that person was and how much of an impact that had. It was a woman, she had children, and it had a huge impact on her children. And when I saw that, that was rewarding to my heart, whereas the stage hypnosis had been rewarding to my ego. It was completely different, and it felt like I was now using the tools I'd learned in stage hypnosis for a new purpose, a really incredibly rewarding purpose. Now, after I did this, I went into more spiritual areas and I started working with the law of attraction and that kind of thing. But throughout this period of time, I was running a hypnotherapy clinic from home for about 10 years. And it was just through word of mouth. So I'd hypnotize a person, I'd help them, they'd tell their friends, and they'd tell their friends and things like that. So I was never short of clients, but I never needed to advertise. So the way I'm going to teach you hypnosis means that you can follow this same path if you want to. So it can be an incredibly, incredibly rewarding career for you. It's also quite a lucrative career. But I want to tell you one particular story of something that happened, and it's when I was specializing in removing phobias. It's very quick and very easy to eliminate somebody's phobia using NLP. I teach you how to do this. And also included on the course, I have an audio recording for you of a complete session where I'm curing somebody's phobia. It's somebody who was terrified of thunderstorms, and it was during a week where there was a lot of thunderstorms in England. The day after I saw the client, we had a huge thunderstorm, and she sat in her back garden watching it and loving it, enjoying it, and she sent me a message to say thank you. So this is many, many years ago, but she is still cured of that phobia. So it was completely eliminated in one session. So I teach you how to do that. But I want to share with you an experience that I had using this same technique, and it happened on the tube in London, on London Underground. I was on the train. The carriage was very full, and there was two girls who were chatting to each other, and one of them was really worried about the station that they were going to get off at, that was the next station, because she had a phobia of lifts, and there were no stairs. The only way to get off at this station, I think it might have been Camden Town or something like that, was a lift. So she had to use the lift, and she was worried about it and scared and starting to panic. So I'd overheard this conversation. I introduced myself. I told her that I specialise in removing phobias, and I did a really simple little routine with her that I'm going to show you during the course. And I eliminated that phobia. So when we got to the stop, we both got off at the same stop. She went in the lift and she was completely fine. So there was no worry, no panic, no nothing. And the relief was incredible. And to be able to do that for a person is so rewarding. Now, I didn't charge her or anything like that. It was just one of those spur of the moment things. But the reward that I felt from being able to help a person like that, incredible. So that's kind of been my career. During that time, so we're looking, it's well over 20 years, 25, getting towards 30 years. So during that time, I've also written several books on hypnosis. I've written books on stage hypnosis, hypnotherapy, advanced hypnotic techniques, hypnotic marketing, hypnotic regression. I've written books on the law of attraction. I've got a book that's about to be released about the law of attraction. It's just in its editing stages. And I've taught tens of thousands of people how to become hypnotists. I did used to have a course on the internet that I sold for $197. I have to tell you, that course was not as good as this one, and this one is free. I do have many, many students that do this course, and they've also done other courses that they've paid a lot of money for, and they send me emails to tell me that they learned more from this course. Now, I know that. I know the value of this course, and I know the reason behind it, and the reason behind the value of this course is because I have been obsessed with hypnosis for a long time, and I did a lot of experiments with hypnosis, so you're getting experience that I think a lot of other academic hypnotists don't really have, and that's really, really valuable for you. So you'll learn a huge amount from this. I must say there is no certification, so at the end of this you don't get a certificate or accredited or anything like this. You just get the knowledge and the ability. If you want to go somewhere else and you want to get a certificate, then by all means do that, but that's an area that I've never been particularly interested in. It's very complicated to set yourself up a school and then get accredited. There's no formal accreditation, so I think it's a little bit of a con. I think what a lot of people do is they create a hypnosis course that really isn't very good. They then create a school of hypnosis, and they use the school to accredit the course so they can give you a certificate and letters after your name. And I kind of think that's a bit wrong. So I come from England. I live in Colombia now. But I grew up in England, and in England there's no regulation about practicing hypnotherapy, or there certainly wasn't when I was doing it, and I'm pretty sure there's still not now. And there's no central governing body that accredits or kind of governs the entire thing. So you can kind of just get out there and do it. But it is nice to have a certificate on your wall, so you might want to do that. So that is a little bit about what you'll learn on this course. To get started, all you need to do is a little bit further down this page, just pop your name and your email address into the form, submit that, and then you'll be added to the course students, and I will be sending you a lesson every single day. When you get the email with the lesson, there'll be a link back to my website where you can watch the day's lesson, which is all in a video format. So you'll see me explaining something about hypnosis or demonstrating something. Underneath each lesson, there are places where you can leave comments through Facebook, so please do leave those comments. Write in there things that you notice that have helped you, like kind of your biggest takeaway, because I think when people read the comments, they tend to notice stuff that they might have missed before they read their comments. So when you put stuff in there, it helps other people. And if you have questions, by all means, you can contact me and you can ask me any questions. But I mean, please do go through the entire course, because you'll probably find that the questions that you have on the earlier lessons are going to be answered later. And I tried to keep each lesson to around about 20 minutes or so. Some of them are a little bit longer than that because there's more than I need to share with you. But I really hope that this is going to be the beginning of an incredibly rewarding and fruitful career for you, and it's going to be a turning point in your life. And seriously, you will love being a hypnotist. It is so valuable in many ways. For your heart, for your ego, for your wallet. You can make a lot of money as a hypnotist. So that's all from me. I guess I should tell you why I'm doing this for free. There's no obligation, as I say, to buy anything whatsoever. I do sell various different books on hypnosis and things like that, but you don't need to buy them. And I actually give you a couple of different things that I normally sell during the course, so I don't buy any of my things because I might be giving you them for free anyway. But one of the reasons that I do this for nothing, many years ago, a young guy who was only 15 years old, his name is Nathan Thomas, he sent me a message saying, I want to buy your course. And it was the $197 course that I was selling at the time. But he didn't have a credit card. And he told me he was fascinated with hypnosis and he really wanted to study. And he told me he was only 15. And I was seriously impressed by his enthusiasm. So I said, don't pay for it, but here's the course for free. And he studied it really diligently, and he was an incredible student. Not only did he study my course, but he also went away and he studied with Igor Ledachovsky, who's an incredible hypnotist. And Nathan then went on over the following 3 or 4 years to become one of the most well-respected hypnotists in the world. He comes from Australia, and he is the founder of the Association for Teenage Hypnotists, where he helps other teenagers develop their hypnotic skills, because he learned at a very early age. And I have seen what he has done, and I have seen the courses that he has now developed that have helped people to become hypnotists. And I know I'm not going to take full credit, obviously, for that, but I know that I played a small part in that, and that is incredibly rewarding. Now, when you see a client one-on-one, it's kind of like you're seeing one person, you help them, and you feel good about that. But you imagine being at the top of the pyramid, and that pyramid of people, and by providing these hypnosis lessons to you for free, this is what I'm essentially doing. I'm sitting at the top of a group of people, yourself included, that will become hypnotists and go out and teach other people and help other people and entertain people, and that grows and grows and grows exponentially. It's incredible. Now, I really would love you to share these lessons with other people so that other people can join this huge family of hypnotists, and together we can help a tremendous amount of people. Now, I believe I really think that when we go to school, we should learn about the way the mind works, how we can overcome our fears, how we can become more confident. We should get a manual that tells us how to use our brain from birth. There should be like an NLP and hypnosis manual that comes from birth, but we don't get that, and we get problems, and they stop us from achieving our greatest potential. And I believe we all have a life purpose. We all have a thing that we are destined to achieve, and there are these things that stand in the way of that. And hypnosis is a tool that can remove those things and enable you to be the best that you can be. Now, if we can do that on a mass scale, so nothing stands in the way. No, I don't want something like, hey, this course is only $47 to stand in the way of moving that forward. So we can get a huge amount of people with nothing that prevents them from doing this. No blocks, no objections, nothing at all that's going to stop them from being able to achieve their life purpose, their dream, by using hypnosis as a tool, and then just keep sharing that and letting that grow. And the whole of humanity can be lifted by this. You imagine if every person you know was living their true potential, they were the ultimate versions of themselves, and they were living their dream. It'd be incredible. And I think the world would be a much better place. So for me, that is a real dream of mine. There are many things that I do. I run several internet businesses. I'm an author. I do all sorts of things. I'm a public speaker. So there's lots and lots of ways that I make money. I don't need to charge people to do this course. And the fact that I'm giving it away for free, for me, is much more valuable, much more rewarding, and much more important, because it is many more people will do this, and I'm hoping that you are gonna be the very next person that's going to be added to that list of people. So as you'll see if you scroll down on this website, there's not a great deal of information here because I think I've said it all in the video, but what I have done is I've just included some of the many hundreds, if not thousands, of emails that I receive from my students. So if you want to have a little bit look through those before you sign up, then please do so. But I mean, all of these are emails that people are sending me, and every single time I receive one of these and people tell me about their experiences, it's incredible. That is worth so much more to me than the monetary value that I could charge for this course. But before I go, I would like to say, this is free, but the quality of what you will learn, it should have a price tag. I know there are other courses out there that are selling for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. There's some courses that are selling for thousands of dollars, and you do not learn as much as you learn from this. So please recognize that this has value. Don't just subscribe and then think, nah, it was free, it's probably not that great. There is value here. I could sell this for a lot of money, but I prefer to give it away for free. But I'd like you to just think whatever the maximum you could afford it. Just imagine that you spent that much money on it and you are invested and you need to learn this stuff, because the value that is in this course can transform your life, and I don't want you to not see that just because I've chosen to give it away for free. The simple truth is I don't need to sell it because I make money from many other avenues, and I'm sure when you learn these skills you'll be able to do that too. So I think most of the things that I do that generate income for me are in one way or another based on what I've learned as a hypnotist. So that's all from me. Thank you very much for watching this video. What I'd like to encourage you to do now is to pop your name and your email into the form that is lower down this website, and I will be sending you your very first lesson today. You will then get one lesson every single day for the next 33 days. And by the end of that, you will be a very confident and competent hypnotist. In fact, a lot sooner than the end of that, you will be a confident and competent hypnotist. So you take care. Thank you so much for being part of my dream, and have the most wonderful of days. Thank you so much. Bye bye.